Hi, Tom.
How's the college visit? Does it make the short list?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
It's okay. This is what we've been planning for.
Knowing our clients personally is why Edward Jones is the big company that doesn't act that way.
It's time for the Edward Jones Tiger Cage.
And joining us this week inside the Edward Jones Tiger Cage is Missouri freshman quarterback Drew Lock, being recognized for his performance in his hometown of Kansas City in that big win over BYU. What was going through your head on Friday when you guys walked into Arrowhead, your first time on that field as a college football player, and you thought about taking on the Cougars the next day?
Yeah, you think about stepping onto an NFL stadium and, hopefully you get to do that, after your college careers. I never really truly expected to actually get to do that during college, so that was pretty cool. But really, we just had to kind of block some things out and stay focused to the game and know that, that was our first task at hand.
It was an emotional weekend. Coach Pinkel, he didn't want to do it the way he had to, though, told you guys on the day before a game. And what was the reaction of you guys as you kind of, let that news soak in and then prepared yourselves to play a football game?
Yeah, we had to, we had to snap back into it pretty quick because, we realized that we do have to play a football game and, you don't want to ever, get embarrassed, so to say. We had to snap back into it. But really, a lot of heads went down. There's a lot of disappointed guys, and obviously he's been a father to us. I'm not, I didn't have a huge relationship with him, obviously, besides the 4-year to 5-year guys that, had him for a long time. But, still, it's pretty upsetting to say the least.
What were the veteran guys telling you? What was kind of the rallying cry or the point of emphasis as you focused up on Saturday, ran out into that field, and all of a sudden it was time to play a football game?
Yeah, just realizing this is GP's last 3 games, and this is his last one on Arrowhead, so let's go ahead and get this win for him and, keep winning a couple games to get him to his last bowl game.
You and the offense were pretty locked in, almost 70% passing, and probably your best performance so far since you took the reins as the starting quarterback. What really clicked for you against BYU?
I think really just everything clicking at the same time. We've had a couple games where half the offense would do, a splendid job, and then the other would have to kind of just waver there. But no, actually having everything come together at the same time and click was a big deal, and our wide receivers caught the heck out of the ball. And when we started throwing the ball, they started dropping back, and dropping 8 and stuff, and we could run the ball. It was just one of those games where you were going to be able to go down the field no matter what.
Russell Hansbrough is healthy, and man, on that last run that pretty much sealed it up, he sure looked like his old self, didn't he?
He really did, and that's good to see, obviously. You never want, to see a guy out there, obviously giving it his best, but knowing that's just not 100% what he could give. But, he's back to normal, he's doing good.
Lee Summit native, I'm sure you grew up a Chiefs fan.
Yes.
18, 19 years old, walk off the field with your helmet raised high off of Arrowhead Stadium with a win. What kind of a thrill was that?
It was crazy, It was hard sometimes being a Chiefs fan. Obviously, we struggled a little bit, but to be actually out on that field in my hometown, just looking in the stands and recognizing faces was the coolest part to me. I come here in Columbia, I see some people I know, but really, to be back in my hometown and get a win like that, for the seniors and GP, it was pretty cool.
Awesome experience there in Kansas City. Drew, thanks for your time. Congrats, and look forward to bigger and better things in the days, weeks, and years ahead.
For sure, no doubt.
That's Drew Lock inside the Edward Jones Tiger Cage. Big thanks to him for stopping by, and thanks to our sponsor, Edward Jones, a proud supporter of Mizzou Athletics. For more information or to find your nearest Edward Jones financial advisor, visit edwardjones.com.
So what about that stock?
Actually knowing the kind of risk that you're comfortable with, I'd steer clear.
Straight talk, multiplied by 13,000 financial advisors. It's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing.